up your sleeves, let the flow begin. Welcome to Workflow, where ideas collide.
Hi, my name is Luis. Welcome to Workflow. Today we're gonna be using the DDJ-REV1 and we're gonna start mixing some music. Let's go. Hi. Today we're gonna use our mixer in conjunction with our DJ software Serato. What we're going to do today is first try to understand what is happening in the screen. As you can see, we have a part in which some will be displayed along with some other buttons. Over here we have a jog wheel, and the other side is exactly the same. On the down part, on the middle to down part of the screen, you'll see that we have a bar that connects to all where our music is, and the playlist. You can upload here any music in formats such as MP3, WAV. You can connect it to Tidal, iTunes. You can even download the stems from the proper software. But today we have some Tidal playlists from the one that some students did, and we're gonna use 2 songs and we're gonna match them and see how this works in the computer using the mixer. So first we're gonna go to our left bar on the left side. We're gonna click on Tidal and you'll see all the songs that we have over here. This is sorted out as album, playlist, or even just the tracks. So we're gonna go to playlist. This is a way to organize music. And here we're gonna go to the number of these playlists. It's called 2Q, randomly named. And we're gonna choose 2 songs. So as you can see, each song has the name of its song, how many plays it has in the software, the artist, the BPMs, that stands for beats per minute, the album, and the length of each song. So we're gonna right now choose 2 songs. The first one is gonna be similar to the second one, as we want to see and hear how does mixing a song looks like. So we're gonna choose this song from Bob Sinclair, and we're gonna drag and drop it to this bar. And once it is displayed, you'll see the song here, the name of the song, the length. You can change it. You can click here, edit grid, and you can see a lot of stuff. We're not gonna do that right now. The BPMs, okay, and here is the visualization of the song, right? Like the sound waves of the song. So we're gonna go and choose another one. This one by Mojo. Your parents will know what we're talking about. And here we have again the second channel, right? So channel 1 and channel 2. So as you can see, they are right now already loaded. And as you can see, hold on, we're gonna start playing it. By playing it, we will click. We have 2 forms of doing it. We can play it here in the bottom in the mixer, which is we're gonna talk about that later, or we just can just drag and drop it. Okay. The same with the second song. Okay. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna use our play button in the controller, and we're gonna click play. So let it break. As you can see, what is happening here is that the software is reading the information of the song, so that makes it sound. And as you can see, also there's a BPM over here that is not moving, but the length is moving backwards, right? So on the other side, we're gonna click on the other controller and we're gonna click play. And the second song will start playing. Okay, in order to return the song to its original place or place it somewhere, we can use the jog wheel. This resembles the old turntables in the early 70s, 80s, or we can drag and drop it. We can drag them with the mouse. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna do a quick mix, really quick mix. So what we have here is we're gonna take a look at the BPM on both sides of the songs. And one way to do it is by just clicking play. And use the pitch right. Once we get the BPM matching the one on the second song, we can do that, or we can do it backwards. We can actually change the pitch on the other one to match the first one. So it depends on how we want to do it. I do it first in the first one so we can know what is happening in the first one, and I eventually will do it in the first one. So let's go back to square one. Okay. So we're gonna go to the pitch. And here we go. Okay, that didn't go well because we forgot something very important: equalizing a song. Now, for that, we have two channels in our controller: first channel and second channel. The first one has the high, the middles, the treble, the mix, and the bass. So for each one of them, we're gonna be using them to equalize and open or make it a little bit like less bassy or with less space, so another song can enter on the part that it's needed. Now, what happened here and was part of what is not going on over here is that both are equalized on the same level. That means that the frequencies might be touching each other. That creates some sort of not of a mix, more of a clashes of frequencies. So what we need to do is first our faders down and the other one to begin. Okay, so we're gonna go back to square one with the song. Okay, and we're gonna go and let it work again. Now, again, our pitch has to be in 0 on both sides. So this is really important. Like, we did. Okay, by doing that, we just change from one channel to the other channel. The mix is not completely done because we have to go and find the rhythmic patterns that both songs will let us know how they blend and mix together. For that, we need to find the structure of the song, the chorus, the pre-chorus, and there's a song structure that we need to follow in order to find the perfect mix. But as you can see, one basic skill is having the pitch one side and the pitch on the other side on the same side. That's done with the pitch riders that are on the top of our controller. And as you can see, if I move them, the sound might go slower or quicker. So that depends on the mix that you're gonna be using. Okay, so we're gonna go back to square one with our first song. And we're gonna learn a little bit about equalization. So for a song to be heard that doesn't actually hurt our ears, it has to sound good. For that to sound good, it doesn't have to have a lot of bass. It doesn't have to have a lot of mids, even though we like it. But remember that when we're mixing a song, it might be for someone else to listen to it. So first and most important part is to take care of our ears. So for that, I'm gonna give you some examples. So I will drop the song and I will take away the bass. So that way you will notice how the song changes the way it can be heard. It misses that punchy vibe, right? So that can be helpful if we're mixing, but not that helpful if we want to hear that song the whole time. Now we're gonna go back to the mids, to the heights. I'm gonna go back to the song. I'm gonna rewind it, and you're gonna hear how the same sound sounds without the highs, like the high frequencies. Okay. That can also be helpful for our mix. However, we don't want the song to always sound so with a lot of bass or with only bass, because a lot of frequencies are held in those spaces, such as voices or some pianos or some lead guitars or melodic instruments are held in the high frequency. So sometimes we might lose the heart of a song, and also our speakers can be damaged. So that's how we use the faders and the controllers over here. So I'm going to be doing this on one side and on the other. We have already seen what our pitch does, right? Let's remember. Makes it slower or makes it faster. The range that we have is about 10 BPMs from each end. So that means that we can actually have that range of time in order to match it with another song. Over here we have, as I already showed you, the frequency equalizers. And we're going to take a look at something really cool, which I found really cool. And it's the filters. The filters are like effects that we can give to the music in order to cut or resonate more some frequencies in a really fun way. Let's take a look at that, or let's hear them. We cut all the low frequencies now, and then we're gonna go to the other side. It sounds like kind of weird, but it's really fun to play with these effects. Right, so those effects are pretty cool. Now the trim is kind of, I would say the trim, it's kind of the volume a little bit on the sound. So let's take a look what it does and let's reflect on that. So it's basically the volume that we give to each sound. We usually are not going to touch this one, as this can actually mess up our whole mix. So we'll try to set it once and not touch it, and we are going to use the faders and the equalizers in order to the knobs on the equalizers in order to make it to play and do the mixes. Now we have some pads over here that are a lot of them. So we're gonna have different pads. The first pad is gonna be the Q, right? So the hot cue, it's gonna be stamping the song that we want to go back. So we're gonna go back to the beginning. Remember, you can do whatever you want in the computer and also in the controller, right? So if we wanna go forward, we can use the jogger in the controller, or we can use the mouse. If we wanna go back, we can use a jogger wheel, or use a mouse. Well, I'm gonna go quickly to the hot cue. The hot cue, we're gonna play the song for a few seconds. Okay, let's go. Imagine that we like this beat. So every time that I want to go back to that beat, in my screen, in my software, this little thing pop in. So that means that there's a stamp over there in those. I don't remember right now the stamp that I made, but if I click, I will go back to that one. Okay, so we can set them up in a way that if you leave your finger over the path, it will continue playing, and if I took it off, it will stop. The way that I can do is continue, make another one. So I go back to the second hot cue, and I can play with them. That way I can blend into my mixes. Now the other way in which we can activate our user pods is with the auto loop. This one is a really fun one because with the auto loop, or with the looper, we can loop certain part of the song in order to give some flow to our mixes. For example, I'm gonna use a loop that it's about let's say four tempos. So we're gonna click and we're gonna So what the tempo does is actually captures a certain amount of time in the song, and it repeats it in loop, right, constantly. And by selecting the number of the first path, you can do 1 tempo, the second one is 2 tempos, the third one is 4 tempos, and the fourth one is 8 tempos. So there are multiples 2 and 4. So in order to have a flow to create your mixes, I'm gonna give you one specific one, so maybe you can see how fun it is to make some loops. So let's go.
Okay.
Okay, so let's continue with let's continue on how we use the loops. So to begin using our mixer, using loops and equalization is going to be important to create our songs. So now, in order to have this actually pretty useful, is to stay organized. Now this playlist is not right now actually organized. So depending on what we want to play, or the mix that we want to do, is the way that we have to organize our playlist. So for example, if we're using Tidal, in Tidal we can actually organize the songs in a way that it's useful for us, okay? And in over Serato, we can also sort the songs by BPMs, or by, for example, okay, so let's continue. You can organize your songs by clicking here, and it will sort your songs as you actually organize them, in a way that it's important that you stay organized with what you're gonna play, because that's the way that you're gonna construct your narrative, and the way that your mix can have that actually idea that you want to develop by mixing. Now, the songs usually are mixed in the same genre, right? If we're mixing electronic music or house music, maybe we have to be playing around that genre, not moving so far away to a completely different one, but well, it can happen eventually if we have the skills and we develop a certain capacity in order to blend songs that comes from different genres into one, right, into one mix. And that can be something really important to explore, but maybe that's for a more experienced use of the mixer and all the tools that we have. As for now, we're going to continue blending our songs using the tools that we have. Continuing without the loop, I'm gonna create another loop in order for you to see how I can blend the use of the of the equalization along with the effects on both sides, right? And also the jog wheel. Se apagó.
¿Sí?
Sí. Creo que no.
Va 2 minutos. Ah, sí.
Es que se apagó.
No,
okay, so I'm going to continue using that. We're going to use the hot loops, the delta loops, or the loops with one thing important. It's important to mention. Auto loop makes the loop immediately, right? And when we loop manually, it's when we touch the pads. However, the bottom has to be click on auto loop in order to let the controller know that you're using that function. So if you're using the function of hot cue, you click on hot cue. If you use the function of auto loop, it's that actually there's more effects or uses that we can do to our pads over here using the bottom shift. Okay, so shift we'll use to beat, jump, roll, trance, and scratch bank. We're not using them for now because, to be honest, I haven't explored them. So we're gonna continue. We're gonna do one loop and blend it with the next song. We're just gonna do it really quick. in that way we use, let's redo what we did in order to explain it. We use one hot cue in order to go back to one part of the song that we already marked, and after we did that, we selected the loop first at 8 beats per minute. Then we start getting it even shorter to get that feeling of something of tension that's helping us to bring the next song together. And as you can hear, that song actually the vocals were fascinating. So what I did is to put a high filter to get those vocals a little bit more on our presence, be more present in the song. And while that was happening, I loop once I played the next song, give a one-time loop, a shorter loop. I click play, and after that I was able to get both faders together, and that make that sense of mixing. And I just drop the loop and pull the other one down. So as you can see, we can use those tools really easily if we know what we want to create. A loop first, get the hot cue using the pad, then the loop, and all the effects are here for give a little bit of movement and how can I say this? We can create tension, we can create new things by using the equalization and bring or open the space for new music to come in. So we can do that every single time for each new song. That's why it's important to have our library organized in order to mix together. Now, one part is that I show you how to drag and drop the songs. So now, for example, I will want to use another song. This one over here, Stardust. I can do it with my controller. I can actually click here. I can click, and this button that says load will load my song in the second channel. So let's do that. Takes a little while, and as you can see, the song already has the information. It has the name of the song on the channel, it has the time length, the BPM, and actually what is really interesting is that the loops from the previous song were kept from this song. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna erase them right now so we can create new loops. Now, as you can see, this is really easy to do because we can use the jog wheel to advance or bring back the song. We can use the same equalizers. So it's basically the same. You just change the song. In the early 80s, you change the record, put it in the turntable, and the mixer will do that. Now it's all incorporated in one. And the beauty of this controller is that we don't only have 2 channels, we actually have 4 channels that we can have access to them by clicking the shift button and clicking on number 3, or in this case number 4. And as you can see, when I click the shift button, they light up. So that means that you can access to some other channels. We're not going to do that, that's very pro. What we want to do is first use 2 channels. Now I'm gonna show you one more feature that I think it's important for you to start using the controller. So the beauty of mixing is finding a groove and finding flow and finding that everything is with a bunch of songs, there is something going on continuously. So in order to keep that continuity, it's important that all the songs are around the same BPMs. That doesn't mean that you cannot change the whole thing, or you cannot blend different musical styles. However, to start, it's important to find that continuity in the songs and that flow and that groove. So right now I'm gonna give you an example of 2 songs that are completely out of their own of those tempos. So you can see that it's gonna be hard to match them if we don't have the tempos in time. The tempos, I mean the BPMs. So first one is the song that I just updated. It's Staying Alive by the Bee Gees, and on the other side is Music Sounds Better With You by Stardust. So as you can see, you can tell that the BPMs are not slightly, are very different, and you can see that they don't match together. So let's gonna hear that first, that change, and then I'm gonna show you how we can find songs that have a similar tempo and how to find that tempo easily without just moving around the jog wheel or the pitch randomly. So as you can see, that doesn't match at all. So one is Staying Alive, that's another time in music, but there's another tempo, and Music Sounds Better With You it sounds different. So in that way, what we can do is find two songs that are pretty similar. For example, we're gonna keep the Music Sounds Better With You song, and we're gonna go back to the Mojo song called Lady. We're actually gonna take out the loops and the hot cues. And there's a pretty simple tool that you can use at first to train your ear and to get those mixes going. So we're gonna actually start with listening to Mojo, and I'm gonna click a little button that it's really simple, and your tempos will be aligned. Okay, so I'm gonna start playing. As you can hear, both songs sound at the same time. Let's hear it back. Okay, so what I did is actually just click the sync button on the next song. That means that the song that it's on the channel that you're syncing it's gonna sync to the other one. Okay, so in this case, Music Sounds Better With You syncs with the tempo of Lady, and as you can tell, both are in the same musical style. That means that they complement each other, and in that same way, both are at the same time, and that brings the space for them to come together in the mix. Right now, that's the way that you can start syncing your song, starting to look for the songs that you like, and in that way it's gonna be really easy to understand. Now, you saw me doing something else with my headphones. Those headphones, actually what they do is they are connected to the controller, and by clicking the key 1 or 2, I can tell the song that is, I can listen to the song that it's not yet on the speaker. That means that I can anticipate the song that I'm gonna be playing. So, well, you can also start driving yourselves crazy with that. And I don't know. I think there's a lot more things that we can continue discovering about this controller, about the Serato software, and just something really important while using these devices, take care of them and groove with them. Find your vibe, find the songs that you like, make a playlist. Well, this is all for today. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments.